Yep.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Village Law SEQFC preview show, Gold Coast edition. We're without Mark Madge this week. He's up in Cairns doing his la-di-dahs with the Gold Coast Knights as they take on Edge Hill in the FFA Cup. Good luck to the Knights. I'm pretty sure they're going to be okay. Anyway, let's talk about the Gold Coast League. We've got two guests with us at the moment. We may have a couple more visitors as the show progresses. We've got Nathan Mulhearn currently from Robina, but for how much longer?
G'day, Darren. How you going? Yeah, so actually, I think you could probably say that my duties at Robina finished with the last game in terms of the coaching of the men's team. I'm still there as a parent, and obviously things like presentation and that sort of thing, it's still to come. So still a few things to cross off before we move on. But yeah, I think the club have advertised that position. So yeah, they'll be looking for a bit of new blood in there. I was there for 3 seasons. So yeah, it took them from last in the Coast League to making the finals in the Premier League the second year, and then obviously well documented. We haven't had a great year this year, so probably a fresh start for both myself and the club is a good thing, and I'm sure both of us will thrive in whatever comes next. And
you know yourself from discussions that we've had on this show that if you're not getting results, things are not going to be, your job security is certainly going to come into question, isn't it? So I think where we're at. I was actually at Robina on the weekend talking to a couple of committee members. They know where they're at. There's a great thing about it is that you've had a discussion about it, and you've come to an agreement. So many times you'll see club presidents sack people by text message or just not call them ever again. So great to see that you took on the difficult conversations.
Oh, look, I think, at the end of the day, it's football, and we do it because most of us do it because we love it, and that's why we're involved. I know, personally, I'm definitely not in it for the money or the ego or anything like that. It's around giving back as, sort of a basic level. But, there's some other things that I like to think I bring to the table in terms of developing people and that sort of thing. And yeah, so I'm not going to fall out with anyone over football. And yeah, I look forward to being able to, get involved somewhere else again in some capacity sooner rather than later. So yeah.
That's if you don't get snapped up by another club in the meantime. Maybe Gareth Philpott at Tallebudgeera will find a spot for you. What do you reckon, Gareth?
100%, always. Nate's always looked after us. He's always been in contact with us from pre-season as well. So yeah, but I'm pretty sure a club will snap him up. I'm pretty sure. I don't think he'll have a problem with that.
And of course, congratulations on winning the league.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was a long year. It still is a long year. So yeah, it's feels like we've played for about 5 years, but yeah, we're getting there.
I think the last time we had you on the show, you were about a couple of wins away. Is that right?
Yeah. I think we needed to win 2 games. So yeah, managed to get them done, and then a couple of forfeits, which haven't helped us at all. But there you go, good fun.
And got you over the line. So well done. All right, we've actually had another guest show up. We've got Tom Sutton again. Is that right, Tom? Are you there?
Hey, Darren, how you going?
Good, mate. Once you get a taste of this show, once you get that taste, there's no stopping.
Got a few interviews this week. People will be sick of me.
Mate, tell us about, before we get into the results and everything, tell us about what happened with you guys on the weekend. I saw a great post with you guys on the border receiving you got your trophy then, didn't you?
Yeah. First of all, congrats to Gareth winning the league with the first there. But yeah, I think the reserves, they were waiting for us to come out of lockdown, or the New South Wales residents. So we decided to do the monument down at Coolangatta Tweed there, and yeah, Channel 9 and Channel 7 rocked up. Started getting a piece of it.
Was there any, slight foot over the border sort of testing things?
No comment, Darren.
Queensland, New South Wales, Queensland.
No comment. I did a couple of fist pumps here and there, but yeah.
That's how I'd be spending my time. Anyway, but that's just me. All right, let's get to the league. Nathan.
Yes.
Surfers Paradise are this year's champions. And we thought it was going to be really tight, but Nerang just fell away at the end, and a 0-0 draw on the weekend.
Is that what it was? I'm not sure. Wasn't it a 1-0 win?
Yeah.
I thought to Nerang. There's a little bit of conjecture about.
They changed it, actually. They changed it to a draw.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So a little bit of context is that on Saturday at the game, they've what was it? It was a 5 p.m. kickoff or 4 p.m. kickoff, whatever it was. They've gone to come out after half time, I believe, and the lights hadn't come on. So there was a power issue at Nerang. Lights hadn't come on, Surface leading 1-0, and then there was, so game abandoned. Regardless of what was to happen, there was a, Surface had won the league anyway. It needed to be a 20-goal win to Surface to change that. If they then checked the rule book and declared a 0-0 draw, that would be interesting. I know I've just got my dog. I don't know what she's doing to the cushion next to me, but it's interesting. Yeah, so whatever's happened there, it's actually a really interesting one, with games being abandoned at halftime and that sort of thing. The rules have been changed in recent times, I believe. Maybe it was a case of people not being sure at the time. Regardless, Surface won the league, whether they went up by 5 points or 6 points. They've been amazing over 2 years. Such a quality side. I know that, they won an undefeated last year. This year, they had a result reversed against them for an administrative error on the team sheet, and then they got beat by Southport. So, effectively they've lost one game in 2 years and one FFA Cup game. So, that's a remarkable run of games. From the outside, it's quite easy to look at them and say that they've got the best players in the league. They've got the fittest players. They've got the best technical players. They're well coached. But yeah, you've got to have something else, I think, to be able to do that for so long. You've got to have a drive from the players, from the coaching team. You've got to have amazing support from your committee. That's just, they don't have many juniors at Surface, so they can put their sole focus into their senior teams. So, yeah, they do a great job, and congratulations to Alex and Bruno and all the players there and staff. I know they do have a lot of people that pitch in and help that side get to where they are.
Alex strikes me as a character who you could win 5-0 and he'd still find fault with how the team played, yeah?
No, I don't think so. I think he's somebody that strives to be better always, absolutely. But yeah, if he's winning 5-0, yeah, they're definitely going to go for a sixth, and they're going to work on that. I think, personality-wise, Alex is Alex, and you don't really ever get, much from him in terms of it's always the same expression, I suppose. But yeah, no, he's Alex is Alex, and he's been very successful, and that's just the way it is. I think your interview with him was probably one of the highlights of the year.
It certainly was, and it's always the car crashes that you remember. And but even talking to him afterwards, you could just see that he's got that drive and that focus that that coaches need to, to, as you said, 2 years to maintain that focus takes a lot of determination, and he seems to have it in spades.
Indeed.
Yeah. All right. So Nerang have secured second place. We've talked about them at length on the show, about how well they've done this season. Palm Beach in third and Southport in fourth. How do you think those two clubs would assess their performances this year?
Yeah, that four is look. If you look at their sides and everything, you look at them and you go, well, that's probably the four most people would think. It was close. Yeah, you might have got a Smoky in there. I think everyone in there sort of, probably thought they were top four. I know Steve McDonald at Southport talks about that being his first year there, so maybe he wasn't sure that they'd be expected to be in there. But, it's a great achievement to do that. But I think, probably the four best sides, the ladder doesn't lie. So Palmy, give them back their 3 points they were deducted for crowd trouble last year. Maybe they're in the mix a little bit closer, but they've gone on a great run. I think it's a number of games since they've lost a game. Nerang, I think they're probably the ones that have come sort of, both Nerang and Southport, I suppose, based on last year, have come a long way. Nerang's team this year, with their mix of younger players and the experienced players chiming in here and there, was fantastic. Have they run out of steam? They lost 3 key players to college in America, so only about 3 weeks ago. So when they were due to play Surface the first time, they had their full squad. When it got postponed because of lockdown, they lost 3 key players at least. I don't know what else they've lost and what that sort of thing. But I think that makes a massive difference. So you go with the matchups. The other thing to take into account is those 4 teams are the exact 4 teams that have made the semis in the reserve grade, which is quite a rare thing on the Gold Coast. There would always be somebody that just had a good, strong reserve grade team and their first team where it was sort of mid-table. But so they've actually, the match-ups are exactly the same as well. And credit to Football Gold Coast. So they were actually, normally your first and so this year process is first v fourth, second v third over a 2-legged playoff. Normally first, you follow the first grade's fixture. So it's first v fourth, first v fourth in first grade, first v fourth in reserve grade beforehand. Because the second v third is Palm Beach and Nerang, and in reserves it's first v fourth is Nerang v. I've lost it. Whoever it is the same. They've actually changed the fixtures and made sure those clubs are actually playing the same venue and same day as their first grade team. So it should be good days at those clubs for the semis.
Good to see that they've done that. Well done, Football Gold Coast. And before we focus
South Coast, actually, I think.
Yes.
There's been a name change.
Before we focus on those semis, Kingscliff, they got the wobbles mid-year, but have come good at the end to finish in 5th place.
They did, courtesy of 3-0 all draws to finish the season.
Yes, but no one overtook them. So, they've done well there, haven't they? That's got to be a great first season for the club in the top league.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ross and them down there started the season like a house on fire. And I suppose it just goes to show, somebody like Surface, who've been there like that for 2 years, what it takes, the difference between the club that, and all our clubs, it's an 8-team comp. There's plenty of clubs that have got good players, but to have the depth and the consistency over a long period of time is what Kingscliff will look to next. How do they build that? how do they do it week in, week out for the whole season? Because they're showing that they're close. They're close.
For sure. All right, so let's have a look at the semi-finals. Let's see if there's something published here. So finals, there we go. Look at that. So semi-final 2, Southport against Surfers Paradise at Ashmore Village Park Field, 3 p.m. on Saturday. And then at 7 p.m, it's Palm Beach against Nerang at Malawa Complex. How do you see these going?
Yeah, so obviously that game that Surface have lost in the last 2 years has been against Southport. So that's I saw one of the Southport players on the weekend said, good luck next week. And they're like, oh, we're not sure who we're playing yet. And I said, oh, well, Palmy are up already, so it looks like it'll be, you'll be playing Surface. And they sort of said, oh, here we go. But I said, don't forget, you guys drew with them and beat them, so you're a chance. Don't write yourselves off yet. But I think obviously Southport will make it very, very difficult, but probably over 2 legs. Surface's quality might shine through, but yeah, maybe we'll end up with a draw this week in the first leg with it all to play for the second leg. And then the
going to red hot Palmy up against
Nerang. Yeah, so Palmy Nerang, you've got probably Palmy are peaking at the right time of the season, and Nerang are maybe fading. I wouldn't write either team off. Down at Palmy, be a good crowd Saturday night. Probably Palmy to take a narrow lead into the second leg.
All right. Gareth and Tom, what are your thoughts on these semis?
Go on, Tom.
I'm probably going to agree with Nath. Just on the point of Southport, if you've got a team that haven't beaten you all year, you probably want to play them, right? I mean, over anyone else. So I think I was there when Nath was chatting to the lad at Southport, and I had the same view as Nath, thinking that although it's Surface, they haven't beaten you all year, you'd want to be playing them. They'll probably go into that with that mindset. Surface thinking we haven't beaten these guys, so it'll be a little bit shaky for them. And I've watched Surface, and if they get any kind of nerves or shakiness into their play, it can be quite disruptive to them. They get any confidence, they pretty much railroad teams. So I'd probably be wanting to play them if I was Southport. Like Nath was saying, I've been watching some games and watching the results. I'd be picking Palmy over Nerang.
What about you, Gareth?
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm picking Palmy over Nerang as well. I don't know, just finals, isn't it? Anything can happen, which I love about it. So, but like Nate said, it's the 4 best teams in the comp. So it's brilliant. It's awesome. So, and I think it's the same in Coast League, to be honest, even though it's probably the top 6 we've all had competitive games against. Probably the top 4 is what it deserves to be as well. So no, it's been good.
All right. So just looking at the draw here. So they're playing Saturday grand final the week after, rather than any midweek fixtures. So good stuff. Looks like some good planning there. All right. Let's have a look at this Coast League now, guys. Gareth, I'll start with you. I've been struggling to find the results from the weekend. Tell me what you saw. Bring me up to speed.
Yeah, so Palmy beat Runaway Bay 5-0. This is the round which we already had played Mount Tambourine just before we went into lockdown. So, we beat Mount Tambourine 14-0. Then Mudgee played against Legends, 3-2 Mudgee, which I know Nath was at. And then Pat Pines beat Musgrave 2-0. And Nerang and Tweed looked like they had a thrilling game, 0-0. So
it was entertaining, that one.
Was it? Did they film it?
Yeah, I think the filming crew were there.
They lost the SD card though; it didn't work.
What a shame.
Yeah, the hard drive didn't work when I plugged the game in. Came up error.
That would have been good for finals to do some footage on it. But there you go. That's all right.
So the big thing out of the weekend's results is that Legends, after dominating the competition from the start, are now in a position where if Mulhearn get a win on the weekend, they're out of the top 4, out of the finals.
Yeah, dominating's a big call, Darren, but yeah, but yeah, they did all right. Yeah, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Really well.
They were doing right, but I think it's when Tweed give them their first loss. I'm pretty sure, and they absolutely thumped them, and then they had a bit of a month or two where they didn't pick up any points.
It was after the spray that Mark gave everyone on this program, I think.
That's right.
Ever since then, so Legends can thank him for that. So yeah, ever since that happened, I think everyone kind of turned up and thought we better put it to Legends. And yeah, we played them and won 5-1, and that was kind of from there they copped a few injuries. I think I mentioned in the previous segment, and it's pretty hard for them. I think some of them played 2 games against us. So I think still hats off to them. Bunch of blokes with an average age, I don't know, what is it, in the 40s. They're doing pretty well, and they're pretty fit. Like I was at the game against Mudgee, and that was a pretty entertaining game, to be honest with you. You've got 3 young fellas from Mudgee in the middle that should be dominating, but they're just Legends are still shutting them down, and they just couldn't capitalize on moving forward. So entertaining to watch.
All right, so looking at this weekend's fixtures, all games are being played at 4 p.m. Saturday. Pacific Pines up against Palm Beach, Tweed United taking on Tambourine Mountain, Runaway Bay against Nerang, Musgrave taking on Mulhearn, and Ormo against Tallebudgeera. Gareth, we had the president, I think Ben is his name, from Ormo on the show a couple of weeks ago. How do you think that club, from playing against them, how do you think they've made the transition to this competition?
Yeah, I mean, I spoke to a few of their boys after when they played at Tally against us. I know they've got a couple of old heads in there as well, but most of them are pretty young. So they seem like local lads, and it looks like there's a bit of financials behind the club, which is great as well. It's just the more teams, the better. Like, it seriously just need to get more clubs in this competition. Like, it's, I mean, fair play to the Div 1 teams who have got a Premier League team and then stepped up and done Div 1 as well. But I mean, the games which we've had called off against us because they can't field teams and stuff like that, we just need more teams. So yeah, hopefully it just keeps on adding more strength. They've got a huge catchment area as well in Ormo. Hopefully they just keep on getting stronger and stronger.
And guys, do you think Mulhearn will get over the line and secure that 4th place?
Yeah, I think the Tally boys are going to be playing Mudgee by the looks of it. I think so. I think they're playing Musgrave.
Musgrave, that's
right. But that's all depending if Musgrave can put a team together. I know they've forfeited the week before against Gareth and the boys, and I think if they put a squad together, I still think that Mudgee will beat them and come into the 4.
Wouldn't that be horrible if Mudgee got up via a forfeit?
Yeah, it's the way it is, I guess. I mean,
Gold Coast football,
the tail end of the year. I mean, you're looking at that. It's quite hard for Legends with their rivals across the road there playing against Mudgee. It's probably the one time that they'll, be quite supportive of Musgrave, right?
It's interesting. Musgrave had a good result against Pat Pines. Like Pat Pines are a good team. I thought they were one of the best teams we played against this year. So for them to only lose 2-0, I don't think it's a given yet, but Mudgee are strong. So we'll see what happens.
Who would you want to play?
We'll play them all, mate. You know, who cares? No, to be honest, I said it from day one. I love when we play against legends because they absolutely hate us, which is great. It's probably the same age bracket as well with most of our lads. So yeah, I'd love to play them again. I love playing there as well. The fans give you stick, everything. I love it. It's superb. So yeah, I would love that. But there you go.
Are they the club with the let's talk about atmospheres at these grounds from these Coast League teams? Is Legends where it's at, where you want to play a game?
I don't know. I don't know if you boys would say the same thing. Most of the teams, it's pretty good atmosphere. Like Tally didn't have a clubhouse this year, which obviously did not help us at all. So there's about 4 lads drinking tins on the hill. But any other club, it was bouncing. Like we played Tweed on Friday night, first game of the year. There's loads of people there. Like Narang, the last game we played against Narang, obviously because the Premier League was playing as well with Nathan Robina. There was loads of people there as well. So yeah, it's Pack Pines is a horrible place to go. It's just horrible in general. It is. It's like, and I used to live there. So it's just, you go in there and you play them on like a Tuesday night, obviously, because the Saturday game's been called off because of rain. And it's just, they're just up for it. It's freezing there. So yeah, it's great. It's been a great year. I've absolutely loved it. This is the type of football which I love. I don't like this fancy stuff. I love this. Yeah, we scrape a win, which is what we've done plenty of times. So yeah, it's been a fun year.
I think
what was that? Sorry?
I was going to say, Darren, Mulhearn is a place where, you know, if you're at Mulhearn at night, the crowd's right on top of you because it's raised, it's cut into the side of the hill. The pitch is there, you're on top of it. I can think of plenty of times playing there where, you know, there's blues in the stands. You know, no, they're not coming to punches, but somebody's mum's giving it to someone else's mum because they're having a fight or whatever, and it's wild. And then they're on top of you, and yeah, no, Mulhearn's a place where, and the pitch has been terrible. Like I saw it on Saturday, and it was perfect. But I've been there when it's just a mud pit, and like, you know, it's just, yeah, it's different, I suppose. It's, you know, it's those idiosyncrasies of places that really appeal to you as a player or a coach that, you know, yeah, I don't know how they feel about it themselves, being players that play for those clubs, but as an away coach or player, you can definitely learn to love some of those places.
Yeah.
What's your take?
Narang's an interesting one. We played there last week and there was no one there. So
well, I have to say I was at Runaway Bay 2 weeks ago and I just fell in love with the place. I thought it was absolutely brilliant with the tight ground, the bar, the fans were all into it and engaged. A little drum there as well. A few songs being sung was brilliant.
Yeah, I agree. I think I said this last week. I'm a massive fan of Runaway Bay and what they do up there. I love going up there, even though it's a massive drive. Still love going up there.
Very good. All right, guys, we might leave it there. Thank you for your time this evening. And one more round for the Coast League and hitting the finals for the Gold Coast Premier League. It's exciting times. We're at the pointy end. Good stuff. All right. So Tom, Gareth and Nathan, thank you very much for your time. This has been the Village Law SEQFC preview show. We will see you next week.